Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those who are new here, hi guys and welcome to becoming Mwanawashe Part 2, the part you all have been waiting for. Before I forget, let me welcome the new subscribers who are here. Welcome guys, to everyone who's new here, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the support, for the love, and I hope you get to learn something from our story and we get to grow together as time goes. So it is finally here. The part 2 you guys have been nagging me for is finally here. Let me start off by apologizing, guys. I know I went quiet when I did part 1. It's just that when I did part 1, I was still going to school and I was still writing my exams and everything. So I was trying to balance both sides. So I told myself, let me finish with school, let me finish with my exams. And then after, I can completely focus on this with like no distractions, you know, without going back and forth. So here I am with part 2. And most of you guys also asked for more details, because I think you guys were saying I didn't give more details in part 1. Oh shit, you guys, I did. But anyways, welcome to part 2 of becoming Mwanawashe. So in part 1, I remember talking about the type of person I was growing up, and part 2 we're going to be talking about how we are not defined by our past mistakes. We're not defined by what we did in the past. We're not defined by the certain type of character you had or whatever it is you were doing before you gave your life to God. You are no longer defined by that, but you are defined by what God says about you. So I don't know how to explain it. So the type of person I was growing up, I think even when I look at myself now and when I look at the youngest version of me, I was like, wow, girl, like, I wouldn't want to be friends with you, because what do you mean you were like that, you know? So I was a very mean person. I was rude. Like, I'd say I had a character of, I didn't like being bossed around. I didn't like being told what to do. Like, okay, let's say there was someone older than me, right? And I'm younger. I'd see myself and that person as of like the same age. If you're gonna raise your voice at me, I was gonna raise my voice at you. If you're gonna shout at me, I was gonna shout at you. Like, that's how it was for me. And I remember my parents would always tell me, you have a bad attitude, you need to change your attitude, you don't have like a right attitude, you know, because people are going to run away from you, not everyone's going to want to be friends with you. And at that time I actually didn't understand, because I was like, what are you guys talking about? What do you mean? Because I didn't see it, because I justified myself, right? Simply like what I was saying, like ndakakura ndichitonetsana nevana vakuru, you know. And like my parents would always be called at school, mwana wenyu azodai, mwana wenyu zasodii, like, you know, they would like vagara vatofona vatonzonzi zviri kuita mwana wenyu kuno kuchi hazvisikuita. But then I would be like, bro, you know, do you want to neni? And then now when I defend myself, it's a problem. So I'd say I had a defensive character, you know, like I was a very defensive person. If you were gonna do something to me, trust me, I wasn't one of those people who's gonna sit down and like be like, okay, it's fine. I would give you a response. It's just that the way I reacted was 10 times worse than, let's say, what you would have like said to me. So that was like the character that I had, and it was bad. So because of that, in primary I didn't have friends, and because of that I was bullied. And every time I actually tried to make a friend, like that person was told, you know, she's not a very good person, she has a bad attitude. And it's like every time I tried to change or to prove that I've changed, people didn't believe it, you know. Like, so I think I was in grade 5. I can't remember what year it was it 2016, I think, I can't remember, somewhere there. And then there was a newcomer who came in my class actually, and she came and sat next to me, because like in my class, actually in primary, I'll actually be honest, I had a desk, young deka. I didn't sit with anyone because nobody wanted to sit with me. So I had my own desk, and like I sat by myself. So just because when this person came, like there were no desks anymore, and then akabaisiwe desk next to Nini. So I tried having a conversation with her. Oh, hi, how are you doing? You know, stuff like that. And people came. Because I remember we had a lesson. After that, the teacher left. After she left, people started screaming and shouting, ah, this person you want to play with, she's very mean, she's very rude, and it's an anima teacher, she's not someone you want to be friends with. And trust me, this girl stopped talking to me. The next day, she started avoiding me, like she didn't want to speak to me. And I was like, oh, you know, it's fine, you know. Because at the end of the day, it was a reputation that I'd built for myself. But in as much as I was trying to change, no one wanted to believe that I've changed. So it got to a point where I was like, you know what, it's fine. Like, I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm just going to leave it like that. If you want to believe that those are like, it's really up to you. I'm not going to blame you, right? At the end of the day, if you want to listen to what people want to say, listen. So if you're there, if you used to be like me, or you just had a different character from me, I'll tell you that it's not your job to prove to people that you've changed. It's not your job to throw yourself to people who don't want to believe that you've changed. It's not your job to force a relationship with people who have already decided to define that you're a person who's not going to change. It's actually not your job. Trust me, I tried. And I realized that at the end of the day, to try and change people's perspective or the way people look at me, whereas they actually don't want to. So I got to a point where I had to tell myself, you know, it's okay. You know, if you want to see me as like that rude, that girl who is mean to teachers, that's fine. You know, that's you. Like, I'm really not going to do anything about it. So in 2020, I finished primary school when I was in grade 7. And that is the year I made a decision that when I go to high school, I want to be known for good things. Right? I don't want to be known for for being rude, you know, and stuff like that. So it's a decision that I made. But now when I started high school in 2021, I learned with people that, because some of the people that I learned with the primary came with me to high school and I actually didn't even know. But at the end of the day, I was actually honestly excited because I was like, oh, at least I have people, you know, that I know, in a sense. Maybe, you know, we can leave the past behind and be friends and stuff like that. So yeah, so I'd say the first 2 terms of high school were pretty chill. They were okay. Till third term happened and I had a falling out with my best friend. So yeah. So I had a falling out with my best friend, right? And this falling out made people hate me, like hate me a lot. It's just that for personal reasons, I'm not going to be able to mention it here, but people hated me for that. Even she did, actually. But if you're watching this, I want you to know that whatever happened between us and what I did, it didn't come from a place of I didn't like you or something. It came from a place of I cared about you, because I saw that you were struggling. I saw someone who needed help and I went to look for help. But if you feel like I did it from a different perspective, then I would love to apologize. But I loved you and I did not have any bad intentions whatsoever when I did what I did. I did what I thought was best in that situation and in that time. So when this happened in 2021, my first year of being in high school, that's when bullying started for me. I was now being called a snitch. I was being called a snake. Any bad word, guys, you can think of. Any bad word you can think of. Trust me, I was named all of that. People made sure that they treated me badly. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but yeah. So we make mistakes. We're human beings. As human beings. But we're not defined by our mistakes. We are not defined by the things we used to do back then, or the certain type of characters we had, certain type of people we were before we decided to give our lives to God. I made mistakes. People made sure they reminded me of these mistakes every single day of my life. Till, when did I finish high school? I actually didn't finish high school, actually. In 2024. That was the last time I was even in high school. And I actually didn't even finish. But I didn't enjoy high school because each and every year, people reminded me that I was a bad person. People reminded me that I had a terrible attitude. People reminded me that I was the definition of the type of person you wouldn't want to be friends with. And at some point in my life, I actually believed it. But there was a time I had to sit down and be like, am I really defined by what people say about me, or am I defined by what God says about me? You made mistakes. You did certain things. So okay, these things are not right. You apologize for it, and that is okay. One thing I'm going to tell you is, don't try to change people's perspective, because it is never going to work. It is never going to work. Trust me. I tried, guys. I tried to show people that I've changed, but it was like Mwanawashe. High school. I'm not going to lie. I had so many names people had given me. I was like, James James, and to a point I was just like, you know what, it's fine, it's chilled, you know, like I can't do anything about it. I can't force you to change like the way you see me. I can't be walking to everyone and telling them, please, this is not who I am anymore. Like, I got to a point where I just accepted, you know what, it is what it is. One thing I'm going to tell you, and one thing you need to understand about people, is people are going to have different perspectives about us. People are going to see us differently, and that's okay. You can't really change the way a person wants to see you, but you can change, or you can control how it affects you. So I want you to know that you're no longer defined by your past. You made certain mistakes, but God has already forgiven you for all those mistakes. When you decided to give your life to God, He made you a new creation. You're no longer defined by that. If people want to say bad things about you, or to tell other new people, last year, one thing I'll tell you is, pray about it. If you see it is actually affecting you, pray about it and give it to God, but kill them with kindness. Smile, laugh. That is what I'm going to tell you, because at the end of the day, you're going to be crying about it. You're going to be like, people don't want to see that I've changed. And as bad as it's actually not going to help anything. But I'll tell you that when I stopped trying to change people's perspective about me, God started connecting me to the right people. God started connecting me to people who actually saw me for who I am and didn't see me based on my flaws. And He can do that for you. So as I end part 2, by your mistakes, you're not defined by Kudara. Jesus loves you. God has forgiven you. And if you can go to all those people that have hurt you and apologize and leave everything in the hands of God. You are not defined by your past mistakes. I wish you guys a blessed week, because I think you're going to see this video on Wednesday and it would have started the week. But I wish you guys a blessed week, and I hope you guys are enjoying this series. Mwah. And stay blessed. Bye.